I think obviously it is a far future idea, but I think it challenges some of the preconceptions of how we're building new railways, and particularly in the railways that we're involved in around the world, where new lines are being built, and by the very nature, they cannot go through the centre of the city because of the cost. So they have to go around the outside. So to integrate that in some way with the city transportation system has to be a thought, because stations, I think, are a little bit old-fashioned, and they haven't really changed in many, many years. Even from the first time they were invented, really, they're still the same. But the vehicles have got so good now. And if you're travelling long distances, for trains to have to stop and start, it's going to add many hours to the journey, in which case then it's not going to compete very well with aircraft, for instance. So there's lots of thoughts there to try and just to challenge what we're doing in building new railways. Yes, we are working with Russian companies, particularly in the aviation sector, where we've designed interiors for aircraft. But we're wanting to build more contacts in other transportation sectors here in Russia. And we sort of, I think the train development is very interesting because we designed the exterior as well as the interior. But I think one way that we do work very well is with the local city organisations and governments. When they're thinking of developing or buying new vehicles from a manufacturer, we can work with the city to get the vehicles that they need, which is appropriate for their city, rather than just a standard vehicle. And I think this is very important. You know, we're designing trains in China, and in China, the high-speed trains, they have to have hot water at the end of every carriage because everyone has tea. So you have to think about these things. We designed a train in Australia, and there had to be racks for putting your surfboard. You know, so every part of the world has different requirements, and I think it's very important that they are right and suitable for that particular part of the world, and it makes them feel like, well, it's a symbol of a modern city and a modern country. I think railway travel must be the way forward. Taking short-haul air journeys, I think, is something that we have to try and stop. And I think the rail is the best example and the best way forward in that area. But again, to do that, we have to persuade people through perhaps design to try and get the environment better, the passenger experience better, so better seats, all of the facilities you would expect on an aeroplane or in a car, so that people feel more comfortable in travelling by train. And that includes the stations, of course.